Robert Sestok is one of the original Cass Corridor artists who has been producing art in Detroit since the 80s. His city sculpture is a free park filled with 29 of his pieces. Let's check it out.
My name is Robert Sestok, and I've created city sculpture in Detroit. Well, we have 29 sculptures in the park, and the biggest piece is 12 feet tall and weighs about 4,000 pounds, which is 2 tons. And all of the pieces that are in the park are laid out on a grid to give equal space to each piece. I'm a product of the Cass Corridor art movement, which happened in Detroit around the late 60s through 1980. In historical context, it's the only art movement that occurred in the city of Detroit. There were fewer artists and fewer galleries, but the intensity of the art that was created at that time was really a lot of raw energy, and the city was starting to deteriorate with the downturn of the auto industry. So things got really desperate for a lot of people. And so we were kind of tagged as deconstructivists. I see deconstructivism, but I also see the fact that this is recycled material. This was actually a 500-gallon propane tank, which I cut up and reassembled in this configuration. It's a totem kind of configuration. A lot of my work has always been about reusing materials and deconstructivism and how it affects society, and that's basically what I'm looking at when I see this piece. Throughout my career, I have placed art in other locations around the city. On 3rd Street at Graham Boulevard, I have a piece called Continuity Tower, done in 1986. I also have placed a piece in front of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield headquarters in downtown Detroit, and that piece is called Dancing Hands. Casting is a unique process, but when you cast something, generally the pieces have to be welded together. And I've created a piece similar to this over on Woodward at Hancock in front of the Hannon House. That's a welded bronze sculpture. And that piece is similar to this, only the idea about nature and the human figure is what I was trying to achieve with this piece. So in 1980, I created my first welded steel sculpture called Conductivity. And it was a welded steel sculpture with a lot of pipes going through plate. In 2007, I created this piece here called Tomahawk Heart. And it was, as you can see, a lot of angle iron and re-rod structural steel, welded together to make this image. And it kind of reminded me of a tomahawk and a heart. So when I do create pieces, they tend to have a persona of their own, and I try to identify that. And so that was the title of this piece. People drive by and look at it. They stop and they come in sometimes and walk around. I think that the sensation is really interesting because all of the pieces are different and created over a period of time. But because of the amount of time it spent to create this, it has a more varied look to it. It's almost as if several people created this but it was just created by one person. City Sculpture is located at 955 West Alexandrine, corner of the Lodge Freeway Service Drive. It's open from 9 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. at night, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.